Hey there, superstars. It is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer, and coach from Live, Love, Give. And I'm coming to you again, and it feels like forever. It's been a few days. I have been so busy doing some masterclasses, doing lots of creative work, having lots of sessions, doing lots of amazing stuff. And I'm in a moment of being wiped out, but I am still doing good, and I wanted to deliver today's message for you guys, really that's been inspired by just a coaching session that I just got off, and it spoke into, really one of the foundational challenges that men and women have in their relationships. And oh my gosh, I was just like, it's such a common theme in our relationships. And so I felt called to talk into it, because so many of us, when we have our challenges, we think, oh, it's just me and it's so challenging and I don't understand us. Like we can never have this relationship work. And we miss the fact that it is, it's a universal challenge that we have as human beings in our intimate relationships. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. So I will talk into a little bit about the differences between men and women. And in particular, what we're going to be talking about today is the fact that if your partner perceives that anything, and I mean anything, is more important to you than them, you're gonna have problems. It's as simple as that, okay? So I'll give you the example that was playing out tonight in this coaching session, and it is so universal in relationships over time between men and women, particularly in the older generations mainly, but it still plays out right here, right now, no matter how old you are. And ultimately what that is that the relationship, a man and woman, I'm just gonna talk in these terms right now, man and woman come together, they have a great relationship, they're in love, they want to get married, so they get married, then they have kids, and then they're managing that, and it's a whole new world, and they've got their first child and so forth, and then another one comes, and another one comes, and all of a sudden it seems, but it's really over years and years, at the relationship, you just don't, like, they're just annoying, they're not doing anything right, it's mainly, oh, he just wants to work all the time, and it's, well, she's so busy, with the kids, or she's always out with her friends, she doesn't want to spend time with me, we lose this connection. And what it really comes down to, and I see time and time again, so many intimate relationships fall apart because of this, because the underlying issue is not actually being addressed. The underlying fact that we feel insignificant to one another, and it just doesn't reach the other person, because we get so caught up in how things are affecting us and what the other person is doing wrong, and we fall into the victim mode, and we can't see what we're doing wrong. We can't see what we're contributing to the circumstance. Or you might be on the other side and you might just totally blame yourself. Now, generally speaking, this is a massive generalization, but a lot of the time it ends up being women can see what their partner's doing wrong, and the man is blaming himself. And so what that does is just really feed into this whole cycle. Well, he should be doing all this stuff, but he's not. So he's not supporting me emotionally or however I want to be supported. So I'm just going to leave him be, and I'm going to go hang out with my friends, my family, support the kids, whatever is, your role, whatever you're doing, right? And then him on the flip side is like, well, I don't feel significant here. I feel like I'm doing something wrong, and to admit what I'm doing wrong is going to make me feel incompetent as a man. And so I'm just going to go where I feel most successful, and I'm just going to go to my work or wherever that realm is, to feel most successful. And so what happens is he's working more and more and more, and she's spending more and more time with those people where she's getting the connection that she wants. And what happens is the relationship is no longer, I'm always saying to you guys, like Tony Robbins would say, the only difference between an intimate relationship and a friendship is intimacy, right? And that gets thrown out the window. If you don't have connection with somebody, if you feel insignificant to somebody else, you know, you don't open up, you don't get vulnerable, you don't connect on a deep level, you retreat and you put your guards up and you end up getting angry, because remember, anger is an emotion that is serving the purpose of regaining your empowerment. Because you feel so disempowered, you end up feeling angry, right? And that's what that emotion, that's the usefulness of that emotion. All emotions serve a purpose. Understand what that is so that you can meet that purpose in a more resourceful way, rather than just acting really angry or whatever comes at play. And that's the other thing that happens. You know, this whole dynamic of feeling insignificant to one another. The woman thinks, well, he's just working all the time, he doesn't care about me, and he just thinks, well, she's so busy about prioritizing, you know, the kids over me, or her friends or family over me, that I'm just going to go over here and you know, meet my need for significance and feel successful over in this realm, and I'm going to come back in here and I'm just going to be angry all the time because I feel so disempowered in this environment. I can't wait to get back to the office, or I can't wait to get back into my business, because at least there I feel empowered. At least there, I feel like I know what I'm doing. I feel confident, I feel competent, and I feel successful. And when I'm come back into this family environment, I feel depleted. I feel insignificant. I feel like, what's my role here? What, to just, you know, give you guys money? You know, where's the connection? Where's that? And whole dynamics are going on like this, but nobody's talking about it. And so what happens is, you know, those two people in relationships stop talking to one another. She feels like she's got to come home and walk on eggshells now. Oh, I'm so, you know, I've always got to worry about what emotional state he's going to be in. He's going to be angry. He's going to be volatile. He's going to, you know, act in a way that makes me feel like I've got to protect the kids. And all this stuff is not, it's totally universal. It's going on all the time. And what we need to do is we need to stop seeing the world through purely our eyes, because when we do that, we think we're right. We get self-righteous. And what we actually really need to do is we need to understand that anything anybody ever does, whatever they say, whatever they don't say, whatever they do, whatever they don't do, it's either coming from love or it's coming from fear, right? And what do we do when people are operating from a place of fear? You know, they're getting angry, they're behaving in ways that they're not proud of and we don't want. We end up meeting them with more fear because we're fearful about what they're doing. And so we magnify, we kind of like throw that petrol on the flames of fear with our own fear, and we never get anywhere but more fear, more hurt, more pain, more, you know, walls in between us, to the point where we end up just going, you know what, life's going to be better without each other. And I hate seeing that. Why? Because we don't learn and we don't grow when that's our mentality. That's a victim mentality. That's a childish mentality. That's a mentality that is going to see you maybe leave this relationship, but just take yourself, the common denominator, to the next relationship and have this pattern run all over again, because you haven't actually taken the time to take responsibility for what's really going on, what your part is, and actually see through people's behavior and see what's actually going on for them. And instead of meeting their fear with more fear, actually going, whoa, like, what are you afraid of? I'm here for you. As difficult as that is to say, you know, because we're trapped in our own fears, but who cares who goes first? Somebody has to. And somebody has to be willing to be able to see through people's fears, your partner's fears, and get to the heart of things and love them. Because at the end of the day, all of our fear is derived from our fear of not being good enough. And if we're not good enough, we won't be loved. And to not be loved as a human being means to die. That's how innately tuned we are to our survival needs of being loved, having connection. And I don't care who you are and how cold-hearted, we want to put the label on some people, everybody needs love at the end of the day. And there's more of us, there's, some of us who are open to knowing that and owning those needs and expressing those and asking for that and giving that. And then there's also some of us who just, that's hard, right? That's hard work to be that vulnerable, to really admit that to the self, to really ask for that. Are you kidding? So, those people in our lives, it's our differences that make for the attraction. So oftentimes you're going to have a very open person with a not so open person. That's going to happen, because there's something juicy about that as well, So what we need to do is we need to see the innate similarities that every single one of us actually has, see through the behavior, know that we all just are yearning for love. And anytime we're operating from a place of fear, if it's hurting another person, if it's, doesn't look good, if you're not proud of it, you know that it's coming from fear, and the antidote to fear is always love. Love somebody unconditionally. Don't accept poor treatment, don't accept poor behavior, but see through it, see behind it, and care enough to love another out of their fear. And the only way you can really get to a place of doing that for another person is to ultimately do that for yourself. And it's no easy path, to get to a place of loving yourself unconditionally. I'm still on that journey, I don't know anybody who totally loves themselves, unconditionally. We've all got things that we need to work on and accept within ourselves, but it's the most powerful and empowering journey that you can ever hope to go on. And it is absolutely the foundation to creating extraordinary relationships with those other amazing human beings who are totally imperfect, just like us in our lives. And I hope that today's message, with me just going on about this, I hope it's actually been valuable to you guys. And I hope that it's got you thinking about not just labeling your way of thinking that they should be different, and actually seeing it for yourself. Because this beautiful woman, beautiful loving woman that I got to speak with tonight, she was very much like, well, he just goes to work, right? And he's always at work, and I've got to focus on the kids. Like, they're my number one priority. Like, he should just grow up, he should grow up. And like, of course I've got to do that. And I lovingly and kindly showed her that, at the end of the day, how you feel when he's spending all that extra time at work and you don't feel like you get any of his time or attention or focus. He feels the exact same way you do when you're totally always spending your time with the kids or your friends or your family and not making time just for him and prioritizing him. All right. So, and sometimes we just can't see that, and we don't want to see it because it's not our model of the world, right? It doesn't make sense. And we don't want to have to deal with that. We can see so easily what other people are doing wrong. But at the end of the day, if you can't take responsibility for your part and get beyond your own perspective and walk the shoes of the person that you love and care and you're trying to be in relationship with, you're not going anywhere, right? Except probably out the door, right? And so if you want extraordinary, which I know all of you guys do, then you absolutely have to realize that if your partner thinks that anything is more important to you than them, you're just going to have problems. So you want problems, or you want to find the solutions? The solution is to prioritize your connection with your partner, create a great vision. And now, I personally don't have kids, but I've learned from some incredible mentors who do have kids and talk about this as, prioritizing the relationship above the children even, right? I know there's times that, a kid needs to survive off you. So, there's different roles and different time frames with children and so forth. But at the end of the day, what these people who have extraordinary relationships, role model quality relationships, what they say is the greatest gift that you can give to your children is the possibility of an extraordinary love affair. all right? An extraordinary love affair isn't like we don't spend any time together and we don't even connect with one another and we're angry at each other and we don't even talk and we have no intimacy or we have none of that and we'd rather go to work or we'd rather go out with our friends. That's not extraordinary, right? And you're painting a picture for your kids about what relationship looks like, all right? So, you know, we can miss this point and like I said, I don't have children myself, but I do learn from the best who do have children, who do navigate extraordinary quality of relationships, and they all say the same thing in this realm. So let's fast track our success rather than doing it the hard way, rather than doing it the long way, by actually modeling what works out there and finding those people out there who do have extraordinary relationships and getting curious about what works for them and, you know, modeling that kind of behavior. It's really, really powerful in any area of your life, really. Whoever's getting results that you want, what are they doing? You know, you don't have to just go on out and reinvent the wheel. You know, go and find their strategy and find what works for you and fast track your success. And I love this realm of intimate relationship to do just that. So I definitely have been on a rant, so I want to check in with you guys. I definitely would love to hear your words of wisdom, your perspective, anything that you'd love to share with us, or just say hi and let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. I would so appreciate connecting with you. But let's see who's been able to join. I've got Phil. Awesome to see you, and Stuart and Tim and John Francois. Good morning to you, or good evening my time here in Australia. And Emma's here as well, and Katrina and Judy and Sunula and Samia and Adrian and Natalie and Ram. Hello to you, my friend. And Gary's here, and Angie and Vicky and Caden, yay, and Z and Filippo and Carl. Oh, awesome to see all of you guys. And Adrian, hi Vanessa, thank you for sharing. In a long relationship with 3 kids now, me and my wife's motto is what Tony Robbins used to say: do what you did in the beginning and there won't be an end. I love that. That's one of my absolute favorites as well. Yeah, lots of Tony Robbins in today's message, because ultimately, you know, I wouldn't be where I am today without that incredible human being, and in particular in the realm of relationship. You know, he teaches such simplicity in this realm that woke me up, that made me realize that it's so simple, all these different tools and ways of looking at relationship that make all the difference. And, you know, our relationship, particularly that intimate relationship, is the biggest source of pain if it's not managed right, if we don't know what we're doing. But it can ultimately be our greatest source of pleasure and fulfillment if we do know how. So I love that you share that with your wife, Adrian. That's so cool. One of my favorites: do what you did in the beginning and there won't be an end. And a great way to tie off today's message. So appreciate you showing up and sharing your experience and your words of wisdom, my friend. And thank you to everybody who's been able to join live. I so appreciate you guys. I love getting to connect with you, and for you to take your time out and tune into one of these messages. If this has been of value, please do share it with anybody that you think could get some value from it, either publicly or privately, whatever you want to do. That is such a gift that you can give to me and Hing. Or it might be Tony. Hello, gorgeous Vanessa. Just let you know, add me to new Facebook page, okay? Your message is valuable to many people who are in a relationship, in some partnership. For me, I love her conditionally in my heart, but she's seeing someone. Whoa. There's a lot going on in that message, Tony. I love having you here, and thank you for your kind words. And definitely, I so appreciate that you're finding value in these messages. And yep, you know, most of our love that we have in our relationships is conditional. I don't know many people. I know like a select couple who I perceive to have a very, most of the time, unconditional love in their relationship, but conditions are always going to come up at different times. And to have an open relationship, which sounds like you may be in there, Tony. I've been doing a few messages every now and then, diving into the realm of open relationship, purely because I really am fascinated about how people can make that work, you know, and get to a place of unconditional love. Or the word compersion comes to mind, which is a word that was developed in that community, the polygamous and open relationship community, which actually means to, you know, to feel joy by watching another person share love with somebody else, right? And so I'm not necessarily saying that might be in a physical realm, but just to see somebody that you love be loved by another human being, you know, that's compersion. That, like that melts my heart. And most of, like a lot of us, feel like that's threatening to us. We feel like we might lose that other person. We, you know, and that's not love. That is limiting another human being. And so I really invite you guys to watch my last video on monogamy versus polygamy. I think that really talks into what we're talking about now. But Tony, all my strength going out to you, my friend. And I really hope that what you're choosing to do is coming from a place of strength. Right? So watch my last message on that. I think it would be really resonating maybe with your situation. But we want to be making choices from our strength, from love, not from our fears and our insecurities, right? And we want to, you know, have high self-esteem to know what kind of quality of relationship we want to create, and have that vision, and we'll uphold that standard as well. So I love that. Thanks for sharing, Tony. And Daryl's here from Canada. I love it. Great to see you, my friend. So everybody who's just joining me now, I hope you guys catch the recording, get a ton of value from today's message. As always, I'm sending you guys all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I really do hope that it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary, that you're doing something super empowering, and today's message has definitely served you. I'm signing off, but I'll come to you guys maybe tomorrow or over the coming days. I've got so much going on, and actually, just some side note, exciting news. I'm actually just got approved to move, so I'm going to move up to beautiful sunny Noosa in Queensland. So don't know if I have any Queenslanders in the house, but I'm pretty excited about that and that new transition. So I'll be bringing much more to you guys when that all happens. But I can see Vanessa's joined as well. Good to see you, beautiful. Hope you are doing amazingly well, and I hope you got to enjoy some of the beautiful sunshine here in Melbourne today. I'm signing off. I'm sending you guys all of my love, and I cannot wait to see you soon.